Hello and welcome back to Inversion Addicts. Today we're going to be continuing our Lost Rides of the UK series, which can include an attraction or roller coaster that no longer operates in this wonderful country of ours. So let's get into it. So in true Lost Rides fashion, let's kick things off by looking at my hometown theme park, Camelot. And first up, a ride that I personally operated, the Rack. The Rack opened to the public at Camelot Theme Park in 1995 after being relocated from a nearby park, American Adventure, where it was known as Canyon Trip, which is quite an original name when you take into consideration the ride models of Vekoma Canyon Trip. Nice one, American Adventure. The Rack was one of only 3 canyon trips to appear as permanent installations at parks. The other 2 could have been found at Nagashima Sparland in Japan and Busch Gardens Williamsburg in Virginia, although the Big Bad Rack outlived them all and was the last to operate. MVP! 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 The Rack stood as a menacing tool of intimidation at the back of the Land of the Brave up until the 2010 season, when a massive mechanical failure was unfortunately deemed too costly to fix by the park and resulted in its permanent closure. So moving on, and next up, it's another ride from Camelot Theme Park, Nightmare. Nightmare was a fantastic roller coaster built by Sierra and designed by the legend Anton Schwarzkopf. It stood menacingly in the park at a height of 87 feet, and with a track length of over a mile and hitting top speeds of 43.5 miles per hour in a really compact layout, this ride packed a major punch. The ride originally opened in 1987 in the now defunct Japanese park Porto Land, although in my Lancashire accent that's definitely not pronounced right. The coaster cost Camelot £3 million to purchase, transport to the UK and assemble the ride, which was a steal considering the draw this ride had with the enthusiast community. Unfortunately, this epic ride would only get to operate for around 5 years, when a huge downturn in visitor numbers unfortunately caused one of my favourite ever theme parks to close forever in 2012. The ride stood SBNO, rotting away up until around 2021, when it was unfortunately demolished. So moving on, and next up we're heading a little further down south to Drayton Manor, where we're going to be taking a look at GForce. GForce opened to the public in July 2005 and was designed and created by Manor. This unique and intense roller coaster subjected riders to over 4 Gs and featured 3 fantastic inversions, including a snappy Immelman and the lesser spotted bent Cuban 8 inversion. The ride stood thrilling guests for around 13 years, when unfortunately maintenance on the coaster was deemed too expensive to maintain and was closed forever in October 2018. Rumour has it the ride's still in storage now somewhere in the Netherlands, so you never know, you might get to see that Humpty Bump lift again after all. So moving on to the next coaster on our list, it's Bullet, that once featured at Flamingo Land in North Yorkshire. Bullet was a rare and unique roller coaster designed by that guy again, Anton Schwarzkopf, and had been a busy boy prior to landing at Flamingo Land. The ride had featured on the German Fur Circuit, it had made an appearance at Circus World in Florida, Prater in Austria, and this absolute legend is still going, operating at a park out in Mexico. Bullet debuted at Flamingo Land in 1991 and operated up until 2005. It then remained in storage up until 2012, when it was sold to its current owners, Selva Magica. This early example of a fantastic shuttle loop featured a tyre-propelled launch, and you'd experience speeds of up to 50 miles per hour. It stood at a total height of 131 feet, which I think is pretty decent for a portable coaster. Props to you, Schwarzkopf. So last but not least, we're going to take a trip down to one of my favourite parks in the UK, Thorpe Park. It's of course Slammer. The very rare Slammer was one of only 2 S&S Power Sky Swatters to be ever built, and was the only one to ever be installed in Europe. It debuted at the park on the 28th of March 2005 and was plagued by reliability issues from day one. And to put that into perspective, the ride was actually closed for 2 weeks following only its second day in operation, due to the ride getting stuck as it locked into place at the top of the support structure. Slammer suffered some of its biggest downtime between the 2012 and 14 seasons, and the biggest hint that the ride was not going to return was given in 2013 when it was completely removed from the Fright Nights map. But lo and behold, there was Slammer open to the public again in the 2015 season. It had a somewhat unsuccessful season up until 2016, when things started to look up for Slammer, and it was reported to be one of the more reliable rides in the park that year. But regardless, this troubled attraction gave its last rides on a cold, dark night at the end of the 2016 season. So there we have it, that's going to wrap it up for today, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. Do you have any fond memories of the rides mentioned in today's video, and what rides would you like to see featured in the next Lost Rides episode? Let us know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Lee from Inversion Addicts, and until next time, take care.